Different word choices will help you tailor your message for different audiences. And that brings us to our next point, developing a game plan for using those words effectively. Some situations require more specific language than others. Some require more diplomacy, and some require more preparation. That's why you need to plan your approach. It will help to ensure that your message is received in the spirit in which it was sent, and that you'll get the desired response.
Jack always gets so defensive about criticism. And he has no self-confidence. How am I going to bring this up in his performance appraisal this afternoon without upsetting him? What can I say to make him listen without being offended?
And I'm very pleased with your productivity, Jack. It's up 6% since we set goals last time. Thanks.
This supervisor begins by giving specific praise to his employee.
I know that, Jack, and it shows. You always take performance goals seriously.
Then he eases into offering a challenge.
It's a good thing, because the goal I have to set for you this time may be a little tough for you.
Oh? What's that?
Then the supervisor makes clear the desired change in behavior.
What I mean is I want you to take more initiative. For example, I want you to start deciding for yourself when a batch needs to be reworked.
But that's a big responsibility. What if I let defective work go through?
Trust me, Jack.
He follows up the implied criticism, lack of initiative, with more praise.
You're good enough to make these decisions on your own. But just to make sure that you don't run into any problems, we'll go through the quality check process step by step so you'll know exactly what to do.
And finally, he gives the employee specific assistance toward reaching the goal. By sandwiching some very carefully phrased criticism between generous helpings of honest praise, this supervisor was able to make his point without upsetting his employee, making him more insecure. Your knowledge of your employees also comes in handy in the next case.
So Human Resources will be holding a series of meetings to explain the changes in your health care benefits. I'm sure you're aware of how medical costs have skyrocketed in the last few years.
This supervisor carefully planned his approach before tackling what was sure to be an unpopular policy change.
Our company, like most others, is simply no longer able to absorb the increases alone. So we're going to have to increase our contribution to our own insurance plans.
He uses the words our and we to make it clear to his people that they're all in this together, management and employees alike.
But it's important to realize that the company is still going to be picking up most of the cost.
He concludes his remarks by stressing the positive aspects of the change.
And we'll still have excellent coverage. We'll still enjoy medical security at an affordable price.
And he uses reassuring words like security and affordable. This supervisor realized that a thoughtless choice of words would make an unpopular situation worse. It's important to remember that if you don't plan your approach, you run the risk of weakening your message or worse, causing misunderstandings. That's why it's critical to be specific.
Oh, Ernie, you're going to have to do something about this tardiness problem.
A warning like this is too general to be effective.
We need you to be here at 8 o'clock sharp, Cindy, and to be at your desk ready to go to work.
This is more like it. To be as specific as possible, you should also use active rather than passive verbs. Forgotten your high school grammar? Here's what I mean. The report was written by Jim and me. Passive verb, weak sentence. It says, so what? It's much stronger to use the active form of the verb and say, Jim and I wrote the report. You hear the difference? Once again, the message is personalized. The report wasn't just written. You and Jim wrote it. You're proud of it. Say it. Some more examples are, the game was won by us. No, we won the game. It was done by her. Nope, she did it. Of course, you know, there are times when the passive can come in handy. If that report that you and Jim wrote was late, would you want to say so? Probably not. You'd probably just say the report was late. Unfortunately, many people think that distancing themselves from the action and using passive verbs provides a more formal and impressive way to express their message. But as we just saw, most of the time it simply deadens it. Watch.
It is to be hoped that the employees of this group were positively persuaded of the need for a policy change by the reasons provided to them.
Now Ed writes the same message, but it is more positive, more direct, and simpler. Naturally, it will be better received. Of course, Ed's message is more effective not only because he uses an active verb, but also because he keeps it personal and to the point. And here's another hint about planning your approach. You need to know when to use one viewpoint rather than another. Now, what does this mean? Watch.
You know, you got a real problem in your department.
I've got a problem?
I know you've put a lot of work into this, Cindy, but I'm having a little bit of difficulty with the procedure.
Oh, really? What's the problem?
You see the difference? Emma realized how much less threatening it was to deal with a problem from her own viewpoint, using I rather than you. This is a small and simple point, but it can make a big difference in the effectiveness of your communications, especially when you have to criticize performance or correct behavior. And that brings us to our final tip for more effective communication.